So that's Reverend Kusi Boateng. Let's remain with this story and speak to former Auditor General and a former member of the Operations Recover All Loot team, Daniel Domelevo. He's joining us. Mr. Domelevo, you're welcome to ChannelOne Newsroom.
Thank you very much and good evening.
Good evening to you. You are a member of the oral team. Was inviting board members of the National Cathedral, including Kusi Boateng, one of the recommendations you made when you were working on that committee?
Not at all. Our recommendation, we didn't really make specific recommendations. You know, there were several cases. So we didn't make recommendation on case by case. But our recommendations broadly cover maybe 3 areas. One, we recommended that almost all the allegations or the evidence that we have gathered needed to be submitted to audit, so to establish the infractions as well as value for money in most of the cases. 2, we thought some of the cases that those which border on criminality also require further investigation using the criminal process or approach. Then the 3rd has to do with setting up commission of inquiry, especially in the land issues, land-related issues. We think a commission of inquiry may be of help. And so we have general prescriptions, but not prescription for specific cases. As you know, we did not invite this.
So the board members have been invited. The earlier report suggested Kusi Boateng was arrested. He has said no, they were invited and they were not arrested necessarily. Do you think anything is going to come out of this invitation by the NIB?
I think so. It depends upon why they are inviting them anyway. I'm assuming that you are saying that the arrest borders on the work of the oral. If it borders on the work of oral, then I am of the view or considered view that some of the actions therein or information received therein border a bit on criminality. So that investigation, I think, is in order. However, this is now Daniel speaking. I'm speaking for myself now, not the oral team. I am of the considered opinion that if government is really serious about recovering the loot, then premium or more attention should be given to use of the civil procedure, that is leveraging on the mandate of the Auditor General. I hope you know that Clause 7 of Article 187A provides that the Auditor General in the performance of his functions is not under the direction and control of any other person or entity. However, the next clause, which is Clause 8, says that that provision in Clause 7 does not preclude the President, upon the advice of the Council of State, from asking the Auditor General to do audits that are in national interest. Why I'm saying this is because if you go back to the Clause 7, the B provides that the Auditor General can disallow and surcharge, and I think that is a faster and a neater route that can be used and less costly. I've heard some talking about setting up commission of inquiry, engaging the so-called big 4 or big whatever audit firm. Those are all going to be lengthy processes. And if I can give you a quick example, you see the SML, the GRA and the SML contract. You see they engage KPMG to do an audit, but nothing came out of it because KPMG has no mandate to hold public officers accountable. If that audit were to be done by the Auditor General, he could have disallowed and surcharged people. And then other issues bordering maybe on illegality or criminality maybe have been referred to the appropriate investigating authorities.
Reverend Kusi Boateng has denied claims linking him to financial dealings at the National Cathedral. You have, as a committee, looked into the books. How bad a scorecard was the situation with the National Cathedral project?
Permit me, Umaru, not to go into much details because it preempts what is going to be done. And again, in issues of this nature, it is also prudent not to give too much information out to the other side. So permit me not to go in there. But to me, in general, I think there was some criminality. There were several breaches from the Constitution through the Procurement Act, through the the Public Financial Management Act. There were so many breaches, which I think must be addressed. Yeah.
Fair enough. We know that your team submitted a report to the president, which was subsequently presented to the Attorney General. Has there been any engagement with the AG since he took office in relation to these findings and perhaps some briefings on what he's going to do or what advice you've given him?
Yes, there have been engagements. In fact, even on one-on-one discussions with the AG, and I think his line of thoughts are so much in sync with mine. He thinks that we may have to leverage more on the audit. In fact, some people are asking, when are people going to be prosecuted? When are people going to be arrested? I think it is premature. People should understand that all we did was to gather information. We have not even heard from the other side. So I think that Ghanaians need to be a little bit patient. These processes cannot be rushed unduly, otherwise we will falter when we get to court. So they should give the AG, that is the Attorney General, and maybe the Auditor General or the government some briefing space so that these cases, most of them can be referred to the Auditor General to conduct value for money audit, compliance audit, and see whether they complied with the laws and regulations that govern this procurement or transactions. And if there were some losses, the Auditor General can activate his mandate to disallow and surcharge. I think that is a better route to go. Some are actually calling for what we call it a commission of inquiry, even into the financial issues. And you and I, we know that commissions of inquiry over the years have not been very useful to the country. You remember Ghana at 50?
Yeah.
You remember Ayawaso Wabon and several other commissions of inquiry.
Yeah.
They come out with findings and then white paper is issued and we don't know what next. Exactly. So
before you take leave of us,
I personally advise against that. Yeah.
Before you take leave of us, the drama between the Office of Special Prosecutor and the former Finance Minister, Ofori-Atta, appears not to be ending. Tonight, we are learning that the former Finance Minister has sued the office as well as the SP himself over that wanted declaration that was made against his person a few weeks ago. I don't know what you make of that.
I find it very interesting, but let's wait and see how it pans out at the court. I've seen the suit where he's making a lot of claims, declarations and claims and requesting orders to be made against the OSP. My take is that nobody should be breaching laws in the course of enforcing the law. So if OSP is wrong in his approach, I think the courts will correct him. But if he is right, then I'm sure the courts will come back to affirm his position. So I think we have to wait and see how it goes. But that's the beauty of the game. If he thinks that his right has been unduly disturbed, he can go to court as he has done. Let's hope that the court will also do the needful.
Very well done. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Daniel Domelevo is a former Auditor General. This is ChannelOne Newsroom on ChannelOne Television.